Some say that Alexander the Great was the fulfillment of a Bible prophecy. Let's take a look at his life. In the summer of 356 BCE, in the ancient city of Pella, the capital of Macedonia, a baby boy was born who would one day shake the world. His name was Alexander. Even as a child, people sensed there was something unusual about him. His father, King Philip II, was a brilliant military leader who united the Macedonian tribes into a strong kingdom. His mother, Queen Olympias, was intense, deeply religious, and convinced that her son was destined for greatness. From his father, Alexander inherited military skill. From his mother, he inherited a powerful belief that he was meant for something extraordinary. As a boy, Alexander was trained in many subjects, including music, poetry, hunting, and warfare. But the teacher who shaped him most was Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in history. Under Aristotle, Alexander studied ethics, politics, science, medicine, literature, and logic. He especially loved Homer's Iliad and admired Achilles so much that he kept a copy of the poem close by, even during military campaigns. He wanted not only to be great in battle, but also to stand above others in knowledge and culture. From a young age, Alexander showed unusual confidence. One famous story tells of a wild horse named Bucephalus that no one could control. While others gave up on the animal, Alexander saw that it was frightened by its own shadow. He turned the horse toward the sun, calmed it, and rode it successfully. His father, amazed, is said to have told him, "My son, seek a kingdom equal to yourself. Macedonia is too small for you." That bold spirit showed itself again in his teenage years. At just 16, while his father was away, Alexander ruled Macedonia in his place. During that time, he crushed a rebellion, captured a city, settled it with new people, and named it Alexandropolis after himself. By age 18, he had already proven himself in war, commanding cavalry at the Battle of Chaeronea, where Macedon defeated the forces of Athens and Thebes. Then, in 336 BCE, everything changed. King Philip II was assassinated, and Alexander became king at only 20 years old. Many in Greece thought his youth would make him weak and easy to overthrow. They were badly mistaken. Alexander moved quickly and decisively. When Thebes rebelled, he destroyed the city, sparing only its temples and the house of the poet Pindar. His message thundered across Greece. Rebellion would not be tolerated. Not long after, Alexander set his sights on the Persian Empire, the greatest world power of the time. In 334 BCE, he crossed into Asia Minor with about 40,000 men. What followed was one of the most astonishing military campaigns in history. He won his first major victory at the Battle of Granicus. Then, at Issus, in 333 BCE, he defeated the Persian king Darius III. Despite facing a larger army, Darius fled, leaving behind his family, whom Alexander treated with surprising respect. Alexander continued forward like a storm moving across a map. At Tyre, he carried out a brutal 7-month siege, even building a causeway across the sea to reach the island city. In Egypt, he was welcomed as a liberator and founded Alexandria, a city that would become one of the great centers of learning in the ancient world. Finally, at Gaugamela in 331 BCE, he struck the crushing blow that toppled the Persian Empire. Darius fled again, and Alexander was now ruler of a vast empire stretching from Greece to Egypt and deep into Asia. By the age of 25, Alexander ruled the largest empire the world had yet seen. His personal life was also tied to politics and empire. He married Roxana of Bactria, who is often described as the wife he loved most. Later, he also married Statira II, daughter of Darius III, and Parysatis II, daughter of Artaxerxes III, strengthening his claim over Persian lands. Roxana later bore him a son, Alexander IV, but only after Alexander's death. Alexander was charismatic, brave, and highly ambitious. He was inspired by the Greek ideal of excellence and longed for glory. But he was more than a conqueror. He also tried to blend cultures, adopting Persian customs and encouraging unity between Greeks and Persians. At the same time, he had a darker side. As he grew older, he became more impulsive, suspicious, and given to fierce anger. In one tragic moment, during a drunken argument, he killed his close friend Clitus the Black, and afterward grieved bitterly over what he had done. In 332 BCE, while in Babylon, Alexander suddenly became ill. Historians have suggested many possible causes, including malaria, typhoid fever, poisoning, or other illness. Whatever the cause, he died at just 32 years old. As he lay dying, his generals reportedly asked him who should inherit his empire. His answer is said to have been, "To the strongest." That answer opened the door to chaos. Because Alexander left no clear successor, his empire did not remain united. Instead, it was broken apart and divided among his generals. Over time, 4 major rulers emerged from the struggle: Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus I, and Ptolemy I. This is where many people connect Alexander's story to the prophecy in Daniel 11:3-4. And a mighty king will stand up and rule with extensive dominion and do as he pleases. And when he has stood up, his kingdom will be broken and divided toward the 4 winds of the heavens. Many believe this mighty king was Alexander the Great. He rose with extraordinary speed, ruled a vast empire, and seemed to do exactly as he pleased. Then, after his death, his kingdom was broken apart and divided, not to his descendants in any lasting way, but among others, especially the generals who carved it up. So, was Alexander the Great the king spoken of in Daniel's prophecy? Many Bible readers believe the description fits him remarkably well. A mighty king from Greece, a vast empire, sudden dominance, then a broken kingdom, divided into 4 parts after his death. It is certainly a striking match. Of course, people approach prophecy in different ways, and not everyone interprets Daniel the same way. But Alexander's life does seem to line up with the passage in a way that is hard to ignore. At the very least, it gives us something rich to think about. A young king who burned across history like a comet, conquered much of the known world, died young, and left behind a shattered empire, exactly as the prophecy seems to describe. Yes, I'd say it is very compelling.